Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to the Diamond Hands Trading channel. Today I'm just going to be going into what my thoughts are for the future of Solana. We just entered 2023 and a lot of people are asking me questions. Do you think Solana is dead? Does it have a future? And I'm basically going to go into my thoughts and reasoning behind them, alright? So let's just hop right into it. I'm going to go into the positive things that I think, affect Solana. Number one, obviously being its die-hard community. So it just seems to be that no matter what happens, everyone who is currently on Solana loves it and they're not going anywhere. They're extremely positive and supportive of each other. I just don't think the community is going anywhere. If they haven't gone anywhere yet, especially after FTX crash, price down 98% or something like that from November of 2021 to 12 months. We pretty much lost all value. NFTs, Solana's actually taken off with NFTs recently, but it's just been a complete shit show for 2022 to say the least. But let's just stick to the positives here. So number one, diehard community. No one's going anywhere. Two, developers are loyal. So a lot of the guys that have been developing on Solana previously are not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Any project that needs to be successful needs to have active developers. If they don't, then you're just going to get left behind. Chains such as Cardano. Just Cardano is actually the perfect example of a chain that had so much potential that just never took off because there's literally zero developers working on it, right? So innovation goes where the active developers go. And I don't think the active developers on Solana are leaving. Number three, a big positive is the NFT ecosystem. The NFTs that took off in 2021, it was just unbelievable the amount of people that were brought into Solana because of that. And I think it does have a really high chance of taking off again in 2023. NFTs themselves are already starting to pop off over the past month or two. And I really think they are going to continue. Like, that is the narrative, in my opinion. Even if Bitcoin and crypto does not really recover this year, I think we could still experience, a crazy bull market for NFTs. Keep in mind that Solana is the cheapest option for NFTs and the most widely known besides Ethereum. Okay, and then number four, it's essentially feeless. So, if you were minting NFTs or if you have any idea on NFTs on Ethereum, the gas fees when, the network is congested can be ridiculous, man. You can be spending up to a couple $100 just to even mint a free NFT at some points. Or even just to send your money somewhere, it might cost you $15, $20. And really that's not scalable for, if you want to get normal people into the network and make it everyday use case, you can't be spending that much money just to send, right? So Solana, you could send, 100 grand, it might only cost you a few cents. So that's the beauty of that network. Now, let's just move on to the negatives, and then after that, I'm going to jump right into some technical analysis on the chart. So, for the negatives, one major one that cannot be overlooked is the FTX crash. So, for those of you who do not know, SBF, which stands for Sam Bankman-Fried, was the creator of FTX, and basically $10 billion went missing. The entire exchange collapsed. No one knows where the money went, right? On their balance sheet, I believe they still have like $1 billion worth of Solana's total supply still, just in their wallets. And I am assuming that is going to need to be sold off at some point to pay back creditors, to pay back, users that had their funds on the exchange. So that's really up in the air. The good thing is that can take years of, in and out of courtrooms to decide what happens, and that money could essentially just be stored on their cold wallet for years until we actually know what happens to it. So that's number one. Number two kind of goes in hand with that. In my opinion, Solana was too close and associated with Alameda and SBF. It really was his coin. He pushed it, buy it at $3, sell me all you want and fuck off, which was kind of just the most classic tweet of 2021, which really started, I think it almost did 100x from that point. So, he couldn't have been more right to buy as much as he could at $3, right? Even now, down 99%, we're still 4x away from that point. So if you look at it that way, we're still up. But most people won't because they didn't get in at that point. So either way, I think we were propped up by Sam. The reason why we took off so much was because they had been pumping it, Was it organic growth that we grew from, $2 to a high of $260 in 1 year? Probably not. It's probably a lot of perps. Sam using all of your deposits. You deposit Bitcoin in the FTX. He just automatically sells it for Solana to prop up the price and to prop up, the balance of his firm. So who knows? Again, it goes in with number one. We have no idea what the fallout is or what the association of SBF will have. Okay, so number three, I think a lot of investors are worried about that. They're very worried about Sam's ties. They'd be looking for an L1 that doesn't have all this baggage. That's definitely the easiest way to put it. There's just a lot of baggage with Solana because of this FTX ideal. So I think institutional investors will be looking elsewhere. You're not going to have a lot of good press. And that goes in hand with number four. All of these points are going to tie in together, right? Another reason why institutional investors aren't going to be, really looking at Solana is because of the downtime on chain. For those who do not know, Solana's had countless cases where the network just stops working. Like you cannot send a transaction through anything built on Solana. Your wallet is completely frozen. You can't send any money. You can't receive. Can't buy an NFT. Nothing. And sometimes this went on for days. In 2021 and 2022. So that's definitely a really big concern. Not only for investors but also for just users. Users want to be able to know that their funds are protected and that they can, send and receive them whenever they wish. You know what I mean? The downtime on chain needs to stop in order for the chain to actually grow. So, big negative point. It can be solved, but there we go. The last one I'm going to talk about before we hop into the chart is the loss of the high time frame support level of $23. So the bottom that marked of our pullback we printed the top in May 2021. It was kind of like the peak bull market. Then we had our tremendous drawdown from May to like June, July. It wasn't until July that we did a triple bottom at around $23 for Solana, and then it finally took off, surpassing its previous all-time high, which is around $58, something like that. Ended up making a high of $260 only a few months later. Now, for those who do not know, that was I'll make another video about that later, but that's kind of the run that kind of made me famous on Twitter, was the long from Solana at $23 at the end of July, turning $800 into $200,000 in like 28 days. The whole point was to do it in 30. I didn't think I was ever going to do that. It was really just, I was trying to do a 10x, but I just kept pushing. Solana kept pumping, and yeah, we turned $800 into $200K. I'll save that story for another day. Lastly, we're going to look at the Solana chart. Right here, I pulled up the weekly in USD. So you can see it's been a pretty wild ride over the past year and a half, 2 years almost. February 2021, just that first takeoff, surpassing the previous all-time high around 586 here in August of 2020. Pull back down to like 57 cents, $1, and then we just took off. So, yeah, and then this was the bottom, the triple bottom I played in July 2021, and we had that crazy run up over the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So yeah, looking at it now, it's pretty dead, to be honest. The video title is Solana dead? I think it is from this chart. I mean, I don't. Maybe the bottom's in for those who've been following along with the Telegram. You guys know that I went long around 825, and I'm still holding it. I've taken profit for 75% of the position above $10, but just looking at this currently, you know, this is the beginning of the new weekly. I'm not too sure yet that that's the bottom. That doesn't look like we printed a bottom just yet. It really depends on this weekly candle and the next. Obviously, we want to close above $11, and we want to, you know, reclaim this $14 area. So getting above these highs is kind of the goal for going into Q1, right? We want to get above these, start treating them as support, reclaim, and then finally we can make that run up, hopefully to, you know, these lows around $26. So this was your market structure break. This is the FTX crash in November. That weekly went from $32 down and ended up closing around 13 bucks for a whopping 60% retrace. So pretty wild. So that was a very strong market structure break there. Our goal is to get above this $14, $15 area, start treating as support, and then make our way up here, right? So back up to like $23. So that's what I'm thinking. Let me go down to the daily real quick, the 12-hour. So in that first rundown, I told everyone to go long at 11 bucks. Ended up working out pretty solid. You know, it was about a 35% pump back up to these highs here in only a day and a half. So I hope everybody made money from that call. Came up here, rejected it again in mid-December, and then we finally took out this low of 11 bucks, right? And then we made a pretty much printed a low at 8 bucks. Came back up. This current 12-hour looks like we're, you know, flipping this $11 region as support. That's what you want to see if you're looking for a reclaim. You know, strong close above the level, a retest, and then let's make our way back up to 14. Okay, so yeah, that's basically, even if you wanted to go long now, I wouldn't go long above this level. Be wanting to look for, you know, a nice dip and then strong buying pressure when we're below there. You know, catch along in here if you're not already, and just have a very strong, you know, you don't have to use big leverage in order to make money. So just simply have your stop loss below here. That would be your invalidation. You don't want that 985 low to be taken out. If it does, I'm going to be looking for these lows around 9 bucks again, right? So price comes back into here and then maybe back up or possibly down into this 671 area. You know what I mean? I'm not entirely positive that my long from $8.25 is the bottom. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to, you know, close that. I've taken enough profit that I'm happy with it. If it does retrace below these lows, I'll probably just close it around 9 bucks. I'll still get the 10% gains. So yeah, I'm just kind of going to let it ride. Next, we're going to look at the BYBIT chart, which is a little bit different because the BYBIT dump on the FTX crash, you can see right here, this is your daily chart, November 5th, just absolutely brutal. Market structure break when we took out these lows. We had a strong close below the level. Never made it up there again. But the low on November 9th, instead of being $11, was $7.50 on BYBIT. That just means there's a lot of leveraged longs that got liquidated and had to market sell, and the order book wasn't full enough to handle it all. So the price dumped below 750. Pretty crazy. So that was really the low that was printed, and we didn't take that out the other day. We kind of went down to like 785. Got kind of close to it, instantly pumped back up, back into this level here. So, yeah, I mean, it looks good. Again, what we're looking for is first a flip of this level. I want to get above 1465, a reclaim of that, maybe a couple of wicks below, reclaim, and then $18 is that like main long target. If I can hold this long from $8.25 to $18, I'd be ecstatic. But again, we're in a bear market. We gotta have reasonable expectations of where the market's going, and don't want to be greedy. So that's why I'm taking a good amount of the profits off the table, and I'm willing to close it if we go back below these $9.67, like 970 lows, right? Excuse me. Last chart we're gonna look at is Solana against Bitcoin. Now this looks, pretty. This looks like it's having a nice bottom here. I don't like that we came up directly back into this, 7150 sat area and rejected. It's kind of crazy. I completely forgot I made this. I think I made that because it was the little range we were playing out for these few days here, and we kind of just came up, rejected the bottom of it instantly, and we'll see how these next couple days go. If you look at that on high time frame, it doesn't look terrible. So we know we got these lows here, right? We got this high that we printed here. This one too. I like this one. So, yeah, I mean, as long as we don't go back below this low, around 5,000 sats, 4850 sats, then, it still looks half decent. This is the weekly, so we're just going to have to give it time. Be patient. And let's, start seeing us reclaim these levels we probably shouldn't have dumped below. You know what I mean? Even this November 7th, like this should have just never happened. If SBF hadn't done what he did, if FTX didn't crash, this wouldn't have happened. So, what is the narrative now? I don't, everything's out in the open. Everyone's gotten blown up this year. I don't know what could possibly push it lower unless, the U.S. economy just goes into a deep recession and everything's worse than everyone thinks. So, I don't know what the narrative is. I don't know if there's going to be a black swan that pushes us even deeper into this bear market, but to me, it's a great time to start direct cost averaging in. Buy a little bit here, buy a little bit there. If you believe in the future of Solana, everything below $20 is just free money. You know what I mean? In my opinion. If you believe in its future, it's going to go back to $200. Might take a year or two. Yeah. But year or two for 10x your money, or right now 20x your money, you don't make that in any other market. So, food for thought. So to summarize everything, the future of Solana, could it go to $1,000? Yeah, sure it could. We just need enough user growth. We need developers to keep actively working. And, we need to know that the FUD from FTX and the huge amount that Sam still holds in their wallet is going to be distributed and, hopefully not sold for a very, very long time. Because if they were to market sell $1 billion at the current price, it wouldn't make sense for them. It wouldn't make sense for creditors that are waiting for their money. The best case scenario for everyone is the future of Solana's price to go up, the network to be, scalable and used by all. I think the chances of $1,000 are much higher in the next 5 years than zero. That's just my thoughts. I hope that everyone learned something. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to post anything in the comments, or if you want to be active in our community Telegram, you can always reach out to me in there. The link for that is in this video, as all my videos. So yeah, have a great day, guys. Till next time, let's rock and roll.